My name is Behrad Rodmanish, and today I have a video for you guys for my final project in Communication 312 taught by Dr. Sarah Gunter. So, to begin with, this project explores how YouTube exerts platform power over creators through monetization policies, algorithm, and moderation systems. It examines how content creators navigate these controls and what their response reveal about the broader power dynamics um, between users and platforms. Using the experience of three creators, David Verheit, Viva Frere, Rowan Ellis, and Philip DeFranco, this project asks, how do YouTube creators navigate monetization policies? What creative choices do they make in response? And what does this reveal about the power dynamics between the creator and the platform? So to begin with, this is a table of content. First, we'll go through the theoretical framework of the platform power and counter power. What is YouTube and what does it offer? How powerful is YouTube? How do creators get monetized on YouTube? What are the benefits of monetization for creators? And what policies does YouTube enforce? How does this algorithm work and why does it matter? What happens when the creators don't follow the rules? The effects of algorithm on creators, and the case study of how three creators experience platform power, and how have creators fought back, and then lastly, why it matters to creators to have a choice in these policies. Okay, so the theoretical framework, platform power, and counter power, right? To understand the YouTube's ecosystem, I'm grounding this in the idea of platform power. YouTube isn't just a place where a video gets uploaded, it's what Gillespie calls a form of platform governance. That means YouTube acts as a gatekeeper of visibility, income, and legitimacy. It shapes the public discourse while avoiding direct accountability to either its users or the broader public. Right? This power pushes creators to adjust their behavior. Bishop explains that many creators develop what she calls an algorithmic expertise, basically learning how to play by YouTube's rules through constant self-monitoring and content tweaking. Kumar adds that creators are constantly navigating vague and shifting platform policies. They have to tweak things like language, thumbnails, and even video tone just to avoid being demonetized or buried by the algorithm. But creators don't just accept this. Counterpower shows up in things like moving to the other platform, relying on crowdfunding, or using their influence to publicly call out unfair treatments. These acts push back against YouTube control and help creators reclaim some autonomy, both creatively and financially. Okay. So what is YouTube and what does it offer? YouTube officially launched in June 2005, created by three former PayPal employees, Chad Harley, Steve Chen, and Jude Kareem. From the start, its maintained innovation was simplicity. As Burgess and Green explains, YouTube made it easy for anyone to upload, publish, and stream videos online, removing major barriers to sharing visual content at scale. By early 2008, it had already become a dominant force online, ranking among the top 10 most visited sites globally with over 85 million videos hosted. So within just a few years, it shifted from a scrappy startup to a culture and a commercial giant. As a platform, YouTube allows creators to monetize their content through various streams. The YouTube Partner Program, launched in 2008, was the first formal step towards revenue sharing. Since then, monetization had expanded into include things like super chat, affiliated market, and even merchandise sales. In short, YouTube offers both visibility and income, but those benefits comes with the strings attached, which we'll start unpacking soon. So how powerful is YouTube? Right? The chart on the left shows the ad revenue in millions in US dollars, which 2023 is $31,510 million, right? Which comes in as 36.15 billion with in 2014. And then the fourth quarter alone generated a record of 10.47 billion, surpassing estimates. And on the left, the chart shows the brand value of YouTube worldwide from 2020 to 2024, which is 2024 revenue, ad plus subscription, reached at least $54 billion. Right, so it's a big company. And then this, right? So YouTube isn't just like a video site, it's a multi-billion-dollar ecosystem. Since 2001 alone, YouTube has paid creators over 7 billion through ad revenue and subscriptions. Under the partner program, creators typically receive 55% of the ad revenue, while YouTube keeps the remaining 45%. For shorts, that share flips. Creators get 45% of the revenue and 5% YouTube. So, as Nielsen and Dr. Gunter explained, YouTube holds the power to make or break connections by adjusting rules, algorithms, or standards that impact what content is seen or buried. Kumar puts it even more clearly. YouTube financial priorities create invisible pathways that shape what users see, who they connect with, and what they come to know. The platform design subtly but powerfully directs our attention. And all of this happens under the legal umbrella of Section 230, which protects platforms from liability for user contents. But as Gillespie argues, YouTube goes far beyond what the law requires, imposing and policing its own rule in ways that deeply shape what content stays up, get monetized, or disappears. Ultimately, as Gillespie also notes, this dynamic speaks to a bigger issue where increasingly depending on tech platforms we don't fully understand and have little power to control. Even major institutions like news media are shaped by these systems, which are run by a handful of private US-based companies. So the next one is, how do creators get monetized on YouTube? Monetization on YouTube really took off in 2007 when the platform introduced the partner program and in video ads. Since then, ad revenue has become the primary way creators earn money. As 2024, YouTube gives creators about 55% of the ad revenue from their videos, keeping the other 45% to itself. To break that down, YouTuber pays creators roughly 1 to 3 cents per view, which adds up to about $10 to $30 per 1,000 views. But how much creators earn also depends on their RPM, or revenue per mile, which means revenue per 1,000 views after YouTube takes its cuts. Creators in the United States earn some of the highest RPMs, around $12. As of the late 2024, Australia and Switzerland follow close behind at around $9 to $10. So geographically really matters when it comes to earning. Content categories also make a big difference. Digital marketing and finance content earns the highest RPM, sometimes between 8 to 20. Educational channels earn around 5, while general lifestyle or how-to content usually brings around $3.50. And if you're making YouTube shorts, the RPM is extremely low, around 5 cents per 1,000 views, which shows how hard it is to make a real income from shorts form content alone. So while monetization policies are possible for many, the actual payout depends on the location, topic format, and the audience size, making YouTube economic system highly uneven. So what are the benefits of monetization for creators? Right. Monetization opens the door for creators to turn their passion into a full-time income. Once a channel gets approved for monetization, creators can earn money in multiple ways, not just from ads. The most common source is ad revenue through Google AdSense, but creators also earn from YouTube Premium when paid subscriptions watch their videos. They're also channel membership, which provides recurring income from fans who pay monthly for exclusive perks. During live stream, creators can make extra through super chats and stickers, where fans pay to have their messages highlighted. And with the merch shelf, creators can even sell their own products directly beneath their videos. To get a sense of how powerful monetization can be, let's take a look of the top two YouTubers, top earners. So one is Mr. Beast, aka Jimmy Donaldson, who made an estimate of 54 million in ad revenue in 2024 alone, with over 371 million subscribers across multiple channels and billions of views each year. Even a single video can earn him a couple $1,000,000 in ads. Next is Jake Paul, who earned around 45 million the same year. His mix of vlogs, comedy, and boxing related content continues to attract huge audiences, and ad scene is still a major source of his income. Of course, not every creator makes millions, but these examples show what's possible when creators succeed in YouTube monetization system and why so many are drawn to the platform. So what policies does YouTube enforce, right? YouTube enforces a range of policies designed to regulate content and keep the platform safe and advertise friendly. These begin with the community guidelines. For example, YouTube prohibits hate speech, anything that promotes violence and discrimination based on race, gender, religion, or ethnicity. Harassment and bullying are also banned, meaning the targeted insults or threats can get a video removed or the creator penalized. Graphic or violent content like gory scenes or dangerous pranks without context is restricted as well. Misinformation, especially related to health topics like COVID-19 or election, is another serious focus. YouTube can remove videos or issue strikes if false claims are spread. Sexual content and nudity are only allowed in education, artistic, or documentary contexts and must include warning. Copyright policies. On the copyright front, creators must only upload content they own or have permission to use. YouTubers use a system called Content ID to detect violation, and repeated copyright strikes, usually 3 in 90 days, can lead to a permanent channel deletion. Fair use is allowed but can be risky if misapplied. Beyond content, creators must also follow YouTube terms of service, which legally bind users. Terms of service, which legally binds users to be at least 13 years old, prohibits bots or automation, and allow YouTube to terminate access if rules are broken. Finally, for child safety, videos made for kids must be properly labeled. Such videos cannot have targeted ads, comments, or community posts. In compliance with the law like COPPA, the Children Online Privacy Protection Act, violating this can result in hefty penalties. So creators must navigate a complex web of policies that affect what they can post and how their channels operate. Okay, so how does the algorithm work and why does it matter, right? YouTube algorithm is at the heart of how the platform operates. According to Nielsen and Dr. Gunter, these computational systems shape everything, from which videos get recommended to how users experience the site and ultimately how creators make money. YouTube itself produces very little original content. Instead, it builds complex tools and infrastructures powered by evolving algorithms that help people search, socialize, and share videos. But these algorithms don't just organize content, they help govern public life. They influence what counts as acceptable cultural discourses, shaping conversation around news and social issues on the platform. Because of this power, creators engage in what Bishop calls algorithm self-optimization. This means they carefully adapt their content, everything from their tone and speech to the video titles and description, to align with what the algorithm favors and avoid penalties like demonetization. For example, some vloggers use keyword stuffing, repeating certain words or phrases in their speech, similar to SEO tactics for websites. This is necessary because there an insurmountable gap between how humans understand language and how culture versus how machine interprets it. In short, the algorithm not only controls what content surfaces, but forces creators to dance in tone, shaping creativity itself. So, what happens when creators don't follow the rules? When creators break YouTubers' rule, the consequences can be serious. YouTube and other platforms clearly state that violation community guidelines can lead to content removal, channel suspension, or even a permanent termination. Getting kicked off a major platform isn't just about losing accounts, it can disrupt a creator's entire social and cultural life, since these platforms are crucial digital infrastructures in today's world. Another major penalty is demonetization, right? If content is flagged as not advertiser friendly, creators lose the ability to earn ad revenue on those videos, cutting off a key income stream. Non-compliance can also trigger algorithmic suppression, where videos get less visibility or are buried deep in the search results. Since these algorithms are black boxes, creators often don't know why their content isn't reaching audiences or getting recommended. Sometimes platforms even subtly filter or hide content without telling users, similar to how Google autocomplete can shape search queries behind the scene, influencing what information people see. So, failing to follow the rules can hurt creators financially, socially, and creatively. So, the effects on the creators, right? The algorithm power has a major impact on the creators, but not always in a positive way. One of the biggest effects is the chilling effect, where fear of demonetization or other punishment leads creative to self censor. Creators constantly second guess and surveil themselves, tweaking language, phrasing, and even metaphors to avoid triggers the algorithm's blind spot and automated flags. This pressure tends to push creators away from controversial or advertiser unfriendly topics, encouraging more mainstream and family friendly content. While this may be safer financially, it risks reducing the diversity and polarity of voices on the platform, leading to sensitized cultural landscape. Beyond content changes, creators also experience a profound lack of agency. Algorithm and moderation policies are opaque and constantly shifting, which leaves creators confused and frustrated. Inconsistent enforcements and unclear feedback mechanism make it difficult for creators to understand why certain content is removed or demonetized. For instance, there was a controversy of over breastfeeding photos being removed inconsistently, raising questions about the platform, motivation, and fairness. Right? This all highlighting the uneven power dynamic between huge platforms like YouTube and individual creators who have limited formal ways to challenge decisions or participate in rulemaking. So, the case study of the three creators that talked about this power dynamic. Okay, let's look at the three creators that have spoken out on this power imbalance on YouTube. The first is David Freehate, better known as the Viva Free. He was a former lawyer who now covers legal news and politics. David has been vocal about YouTube's opaque moderation and demonetization policies. He points out that even when creators follow the rules, video on controversial topics often get demonetized or removed without clear explanation. According to him, this forces creators into self-censorship to avoid algorithmic punishment. He said YouTube says they're neutral, but they manipulate visibility and monetization behind the scene. That's not neutrality, it's editorial control. Next, we have Rowan Ellis, an LGBTQ creator and cultural critic. Rowan frequently faces demonetization and algorithmic suppression, especially when LGBTQ terms appear in her video titles or tags. She explains how her content is treated as sensitive, which lowers its visibility and ad revenue, creating both emotional and financial strain. Rowan argues that despite YouTube's claim of inclusiveness, the algorithm punished creators for openly discussing their identities. She states that the algorithm is not neutral. It reflects the biases and conservations of advertisers and corporate interests. Lastly, there's Philip DeFranco, a veteran news commentator with millions of subscriptions. He has clashed publicly with YouTube over demonetizations and content visibility. Despite producing factual and balanced news, Philip criticizes YouTube for not properly supporting creators who are key to the platform's success. He highlights how algorithm changes the priorities family friendly. Changes that prioritize family friendly content can severely impact creators' livelihood. His blunt assessment was, we're not partners, we're tools. We're useful until we're not. Together, these creators reveal the complex and often frustrating relationship between YouTube and those who build its content ecosystem. So here we have how have creators fought back? Despite the challenges, creators like Philip DeFranco, David Freyer, and Rowan Willis have found ways to push back against YouTube's control and protect their livelihood. Starting with Philip DeFranco, he faced regularly demonetization and shifting algorithms, especially around his news. To navigate this, he built his own brand beyond YouTube, launching a merch empire called Beautiful Bastard, and using external platforms to generate revenue, reducing his reliance on ad dollars. He also developed a direct pipeline to his audience, encouraging fans to subscribe to his newsletter and follow him on social media, which helped bypass the algorithm unpredictability. Beyond business moves, Philip uses his visibility to pressure YouTube, openly criticizing the platform's lack of transparency. As he puts it, YouTube is my home, but it's not my boss. You can't let the algorithm decide your worth. Next is the David Freehate, known as Viva Free, who faces demonetization and shadow banning for his political and legal content. David diversified by moving some of his work to alternative platforms like Rumble, which promotes free speech and has fewer content restrictions. He also turned to crowdfunding platforms like Local and Patreon, building a direct financial relationship with his fans. Meanwhile, he carefully framed YouTube uploads, avoiding trigger words to reduce demonetization risks. His advice is clear. If you rely 100% on YouTube, you're gambling with your livelihood. Finally, Rowan Ellis, an LGBTQ creator, she has confronted algorithm suppression of queer topics head on. She learned to be strategic with her video titles and tags, using abbreviations or indirect terms to avoid demonetization. Rowan also speaks out publicly, creating viral contents and articles that call attention to YouTube's biases, building solidarity among the community, creators, and pressuring the platform to diversify income. She uses Patreon and takes speaking gigs, focusing on nurturing a loyal niche community instead of chasing broad algorithmic success. As she stated, if you are queer, your existence isn't an advertiser friendly. That's not a bug. It's a future of how this system is built. So these strategies show how creators are not just passive users, but active agents fighting for creative and financial autonomy. So lastly, why is it important for creators to have a say? Right? Creators having a voice in the platform governance is crucial to counter the asymmetrical power that platform like YouTube holds. Nielsen and Dr. Gunter describe this as an immense power imbalance, where creators often feel they have very little control over their own work, largely at the mercy of YouTube's opaque algorithm. Giving creators a formal role in policymaking can help rebalance this dynamic and create a fairer system. Creators also face extreme unpredictability and precarity. Bishop notes that The fluctuating enforcement of rules and inconsistently monthly revenue create a constant sense of insecurity. One creator compared dealing with an algorithm to working for a boss who changes their mind daily about whether to pay them or not. Creators' input could lead to more stable and transparent policies, allowing creators to plan their work with confidence, right? And transparency and accountability are also solely lacking. Content moderation is often an opaque black box. Platforms keep enforcements hidden, offering little insight into their value or decision making process. Right? Since platforms increasingly function like public utility that shape public life, their governance should be subject to democratic oversight and public accountability. Involving creators could foster deliberate transparency and establish formal channels for participation and redress current missing on these platforms. Finally, moderation systems are often inaccurate and inconsistent. Algorithm moderation can be riddled with errors and bias against certain types of content or assent. While human moderation may apply rules unevenly across region, creators, as those directly impacted, are essential voices in identifying these flaws and improving fairness in the system. In short, giving creators a say helps make the platform more just, transparent, and accumulative for everyone involved. Thank you so much for listening.